Here we go. Hey, I'm here today with Sandy, and she's my model today. Look at this gorgeous hair. She's got this head full of nice, silky, thick, just wavy hair. And right now, she's just grown out. She's got the nice bangs that are a little heavy. I like the bangs on Sandy, but what we want to do today is give her a nice change. You can see with this shaped face, I really like to look at the shaped face because that really determines where you're going to leave the hair longer, where you're going to leave the hair shorter or fuller. And just looking at her shaped face, she's got these great cheekbones, great blue eyes. She's a little more narrow through the chin and the jawline. So what I want to do is leave her some fullness right in the area where she's the thinnest at. That'll create a really oval shape. And with this higher forehead, bangs are ideal. We were even talking about how bangs are better than Botox. So you want to look 10 years younger? Get some bangs. They work great. But what I want to do today, next I'm going to shampoo Sandy's hair, but what I want to do is use the shark tooth razor to cut her hair today. And you've seen the razor before. It's fabulous on this thick texture hair. It's great for giving the hair volume, for giving these piecey, ragged, very shaggy layers, and especially with her natural wave that she has, it'll come out and make her hair very manageable, hair that she can let air dry and really kind of encourage the wave instead of fight it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shampoo Sandy, and I'll be right back in a few minutes. You can get to see the haircut. We're back here with Sandy. I've got her shampooed. You can see this length now here. It's really, past the shoulders. What I want to do is I've combed her out, and I've tried to determine her hanging length and her natural fall here. Her natural fall, you can see, is kind of off center. Sandy, it doesn't look like it is right down the middle. Close. So we know where that natural fall is going to fall kind of off center. What I want to do first is I'm going to cut the hanging length. And when I cut the hanging length, I'm going to do that with my huge, I have a pair of big shears that will really cut through her ponytail all at once. It's much easier just to remove that excess length. I was just looking at her hair, and we know we want Sandy's hair to fall under the chin, and almost right here at her collarbone is here. So that's a good inch or two under the chin, and I'm allowing for the hair to shrink too, Sandy, so I know it'll jump up a little bit. But removing this, and look, it's going to be very little off the front. The hair is going to come off the back. And so with her head held up, her hanging length is going to be the same length all the way around. I don't want to make this extremely short and extremely long in the front. I want to have a nice, very nice, classic hanging length. She's got very thick hair, so I don't want this to bulge out on the bottom being all one length. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to razor the layering in there. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to turn her this way so you can see me cut this ponytail off. And what I do to do that is I comb all of this back. We're going to take this all off in one section. Doing it this way is quick and easy, and it's very accurate for me. It allows me to leave all the length in the front because we don't want that hanging length shorter in the front and longer in the back. We want it the opposite. We want this slightly shorter back here and have that hair swing forward. It makes it just a much more modern shape. I've combed everything up and over, straight back, up and over on the sides into the ponytail. We know those sides are going to have nice length on them. Combing this down, I'm going to cut this low. We don't want too much high, we don't want to lift that up high. Not a lot of graduation there. We're going to hold this low. And with these big shears I have here, which are fabulous for cutting ponytails off, I bring this right down here and take it off. Straight across. In one piece, one nice cut. It cuts everything at once. And how quick is that? That just removes that length immediately for me. And then you can really see where I've got her hanging length at now, Sandy. I did leave your length in the front. So now you can see that hair swinging forward and how fast and even, really even, that takes that off. Now, what we're going to do, go back to this natural fall in the front. What I'll have to do is when I comb this out section by section, okay, I've removed the hanging length. Remove the excess length. I've got her hanging length now. I'm going to go back and go over this underneath and remove slightly a little bit more just with what's hanging out here. Because when you lift that ponytail out and cut, it did have this slightly longer. So let's go back over and check it out. And it's going to be very little hair off. I'm going to do it with my shark tooth. I'm going to turn her right this way so you can see the hanging length. I'm going to converge this just like I did with the ponytail. See right there? I've got it all converged to one. I'm going to take off the little excess piece here. What this will do, it'll keep her edges from being super blunt. It'll have some very nice fringe on the edges. So her bob shape will have movement in it. It won't be blunt and heavy. That way, the hair moves. And then it releases some of this natural wave in the hair, and I call it beach waves when it has just that little wiggle or that bend in the hair that just looks undone and natural, so the hair hasn't been forced into a shape. I tell you, Sandy told me that she just doesn't want high maintenance hair. She's got fabulous hair. Her hair should be easy. And when I say easy, she should be able to shampoo it, towel it dry a little bit, put a little bit of lotion, a little mousse in it, encourage the waves, let the hair be soft and messy. Now, if she wants to really make the hair smooth and sleek, she can dry it with a round brush, smooth those edges out, give herself some lift. You'll see all the fringy layering in the hair when you wear it smooth. And then when you flat iron it, then it makes it even a step more that modern and piecey. So her hair is still very versatile. She'll have lots to play with here. Still actually hair to pull up, Sandy. You can still pull this hair up even at this length. But what it's going to do is it's going to give you a shape that when you wear your hair down, it won't be overpowering. It'll be this great shape that has movement and body. And then too, I think when the hair gets old and long, it looks dull. You know, it doesn't have any life to it, or the hair will look dry. So cutting off this old hair and this top layer just really revives the hair. See, what I'm doing now is fringing the edges, going back over my shape, seeing what's hanging out, and I'll check that too when I dry it. That's when I do a lot of tweaking and checking, is once the hair is dried and smooth, and then you see any little flaw in it when you smooth it out. Going back over, you see how thick this hair is. Sandy has this little natural wave. It doesn't have any fuzzy texture to it. We have such high humidity here in Charleston, so that's one thing that we really fight with in natural wave, is just that frizz in the hair that's hard to tame. You do not have that, Sandy, so that's a good thing. Silky hair that'll look good with a little mousse or a little gel, and let it air dry. See, I'm going right over the ends. I'm really just lifting that section up and going right into the ends, jagging the edges. This is not, you know, so many hairstylists, they want to thin the hair at the roots or try to thin the hair to take out bulk. And I like to layer the hair to remove bulk. You cut the shape in there with the razor instead of just thinning the ends till a fare thee well, and then you have ragged ends that do nothing. So that's one thing that I don't like to do, is texturize or thin at the roots. Now, once I finish the cut and the layering needs to be lightened up or fringed on the edges, that's when you do that. That's when you texturize those ends. But there's just a good technique to do it where you give the hair shape and not just ragged hair. Now, I'm bringing this back slightly here because I have a little skimpy in there that was just a little too wimpy. I didn't like it. And I knew that I had some extra hair there because of pulling it all back at once and cutting it. It allowed me to, just a little safety there, to have extra hair that I don't want to cut off. Now you see I'm to this side. It's okay. And we're going to do the same thing here. This was brought all the way back and cut, so now this is just a little extreme and I want that slightly shorter. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually bring it right to the shoulder and take off that little wimpy piece, because we don't want that little skinny piece hanging there too thin. Now we've determined all of Sandy's length. No more off of the length. Now we've got these great bangs on her that are really light. She's cut them herself and she's done pretty good. You really have. I like that you didn't cut them above the eyebrows. So now I'm going to go right in here at her chin and take my razor and really kind of put a fringe right in here, a low fringe. I don't want that up high at the bang. I want this low. This takes this corner off and gives it a little more movement. I'm actually going right where her mouth, between her mouth and her chin, and just taking the razor down and making that little fringy edge. Now that is really creating a little face framing fringe here. The bangs to me are very dramatic. Bangs bring attention to the eyes. Bangs can make you youthful and modern. Bangs can make it versatile too. These can be brushed over. They can come straight down. So bangs are a good thing. I'm going right in the middle of the bang, and I'm just taking a little off of a piece that looked like it was just slightly longer. Just a little piece in the middle. I like to cut those dry. I'm not going to do too much to those because I really like the way those look. It was everything else that needed to be cut. Now, we've got the hanging length. We've got our bangs. Now we're going to determine the layering. And I'm going to take a piece right in the crown. We know we want long layers. We don't want them short. I want this layering to fall long. So, you see where that is going to be, even with 2 inches off. I'm taking it right up here, taking it off. Going to this side, doing the same thing. I'm creating a guide for the entire layering. All right, there's my guide. Take it off. Now, I have a piece cut for this side, a piece cut for this side. Now you see where that layering is falling. It's falling long. This is our light layering. And our light layering has a traveling guide. The guide travels around the head and down the layering, down the section. So we go from short to long. Lifting this out. You see my guide right here. Converge, that piece fell out. That's okay. Take it off. I go right behind that section, pick up another section, comb it up with that previously cut section, and I comb right out from that section. Don't over direct, don't go back too far. I'm coming right out from where I picked up my section and take that off. See, now I'm behind the ear. You're traveling around the head. I'm going to travel to the middle. Once I get to the middle, I'll stop and I'll go to the other side. And as I travel, I'm picking up the previously cut section with the section I'm going to cut. So in standing behind the model this way, you never get off. You're always where you're supposed to be. You can always see where you're supposed to cut. I converge that together. You can almost feel it and see where it needs to come off. That piece drops down, that's okay. Still traveling this way. I'm almost to the middle. I'm picking up my previously cut hair with the piece I'm going to cut. There's my section. I converge and I take it off. Now I'm getting to an area where her hair line is lower, so I have to pick up and check the bottom too, because she has a lower neckline on the neck. There's going to be more hair. Bring that off. You see right there, this is falling, and that's okay because I can come back and check that. Take that off. Come back in here. There's not going to be any hair to take off because that's the shortness on the underneath. Now, I'm back to this side, Sandy. We're at 11 minutes. We're doing good. Same thing. I'm behind the model, picking up the section right in front of the ear, lifting this up and out. You can see there's my guide I cut right there. There's the shortest little piece. Converge and take it off. It's not going to be much because these layers are long. It's coming off the bottom area here because the layers are long. Same thing. I'm right above the ear here. I'm picking up the section previously cut with the one I'm cutting. You pull it up, converge, and cut that off. And see, as I cut, I'm going down with the section I cut. So it's going from short to long. Now I'm behind the ear. Oops, need to pick up this piece. I'm behind the ear. I'm running out of hair. I can feel the whip section where it needs to come off. Now behind the ear here, there's going to be a section below too, because that's part of her neckline. I got to check that too, because that will be bulky if it's very thick or low on the neck. Same thing here. Going right here to the behind the ear. I'll turn you this way. Working my way all the way around. I'm almost to the back. Taking that off. Same thing down here. Combing this all up and out and bringing that down because we don't want weight on the ends. Now I'm to the middle. Back where I started. On the other side, I end up in the middle. And out of hair, right here. Now, that's razored these edges and created some long layering. Let's look right here from the top. I'm going to check this out, make sure there is nothing hanging out. Look how nice and fringy. This is good. Going back over that a little bit, taking a little bit more weight out, checking this way. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to dry Sandy's hair, and you'll get to see it blown dry, and we'll check it out again. I'll do a little more tweaking with my shark tooth or with my 7-tooth notchers, and then you'll get to see the haircut finished. We'll be right back. We're back. We're here with Sandy. You can see I've got her length cut. I've got her dried and smooth with the flat iron. Now we've got a great hanging length. And boy, now we've got body. We've got lots of movement. After smoothing that hair out with that flat iron, you can see how nice and fringy these ends are. We've got just a good body, and we removed that weight off of these ends just so the hair is so light and just very light and fringy on the ends. There are a few things I want to do. And after smoothing the hair out, you can see where you want to tweak the hair a little bit more by removing a little more hair. What I want to do is a little point cutting. And when I use the point cutting, I do like to use my little tiny shears because they have the little tiny blades. So when you do the point cutting, it's very subtle. You don't have big, thick blades that are cutting into the hair. Lifting this up almost in the way that I was cutting it with the razor, I'm going to go right back over my shape. Now I'm cutting a little more defined little edges in there, taking out a little more weight. When I lift that up, this hair is coming off the bottom, not off the top. You can see all my nice ragged ends from the razor. Let's go back and define a little bit more. I'm going to take a little bit more weight out of that. So that gives it a little more fringe on those ends, a little more defined. I'm basically going to work my way around just like I did when I was cutting her with the razor. I'm going in right in here. I want to go a little lower, take a little bit more out. These tiny blades take very tiny, tiny little nips into the hair. So it's a nice, nice thin blade that's making those point cuts. When you comb that hair down, you can see right where you want some weight out of it. And you can tell what that razor has done on the ends. It's really removed that weight off of the hanging length and off of the layering low, because we left this layering long. Go back in here, point cut a little bit more, just to take a little bit more fringe out of there. That's creating that hair, giving it some movement on the ends and creating the layering long. We didn't want short layers in this hair. Right in here you can see where I took off with that razor. Go back and take a little more, just so that's a little more defined. It takes a little thicker cut in there. Right in here also, we gave Sandy this nice, sharp, really clean bob shape on the bottom. And even cutting it with the razor, you can see where it left this ends fringed, but still a solid shape. Super shiny hair. Hair that now has movement on the ends, and it will be low maintenance hair. She will not have to flat iron her hair every day. Her hair is going to look good with a little bit of lotion and letting it air dry and creating, encouraging the wave, not taking it out. I smoothed it out so I could see the shape, and she could see what it's going to do if she lets this hair go smooth and very sleek and shiny. She can have very tousled, wavy, messy hair when she lets it air dry, and it'll really create a look of having more layering than she really does when she encourages it this way because of the layering with the razor. Going right through the crown, doing a little bit more, just so we now have lots of movement in there. Great, great. Now we've got this finished look that really has a great look on Sandy. She's got this hair that swings right at the collarbone, which is really a flattering length on her. She's got this pretty neck, and she's got these great dramatic bangs now that really fit into the haircut. Now they make more of a statement. I think having this dramatic bang and having this nice fringe is kind of a, you got the solid heavy bangs with the fringy edges. They really go together well. Sandy, you look great. I enjoyed doing your hair today. What a nice change on you. Now you've got hair that moves and just lots of body in it. And these bangs are just so nice on you with a really modern feel on it. I enjoyed doing, yeah, swing it around a little bit. You see how the hair just has great movement now. Sandy, you look great. I enjoyed doing your hair. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching.